tonight here on the Nation's Elite Podcast. We're going to launch things off with a 2024 young lady that is lighting it up on the court. We have her ranked as our number 2 wing, and I'm sure she's not happy about that, but we have her ranked right now at number 2 on our wings list for 2024. A young lady that Baller TV has tabbed as the female KD. And I saw that, and that kind of lit my eyes up. I was like, wow, I got to see this. So that's kind of the first thing I saw on you, and I watched that, and I said, whoa, we got to write her name down and make sure we watch her tape. So welcome in Jada Bates out of McEachern, Georgia High School. Her Indian squad is currently 10-6 on the season. And how are you doing this season so far, Jada?
I say I'm doing pretty well this season. And like with the team, we're doing pretty good. We're getting there.
I saw you guys have played a pretty challenging schedule so far. Who would you say has been the toughest competitor you've went up against so far this season?
Um, I definitely say Hoover, Alabama. Their guard, I forgot her name, Renai, I think. That would probably be like the toughest team in matchup that we had so far this season.
Nationally ranked Hoover, Alabama. Yeah, they are a tough matchup. Um, Being tabbed the female KD is high praise for anybody. So what went through your mind when you saw that come out from Baller TV?
Um, Honestly, like I've been like hearing people been calling me that for like a minute now, like since like before Baller TV. So like seeing Baller TV do it just made it be like that much more like like something. And yeah, I was excited.
Where in your recruitment are you at this point in time?
I haven't like narrowed the list down or anything like that. I'm still open and um just yeah, haven't like made any decisions yet.
Okay. Which schools are currently recruiting you?
Um, there's a couple. So far I have offers from Georgia, Georgia Tech, Florida, Florida State, Miami, Ole Miss, Seton Hall University. Um, who am I missing? Um, Mississippi State University, Rutgers, UAB, St. John's. Um, it's a couple of schools down missing, but yeah, I have 15 D1 offers right now.
That's a pretty good list early on. Out of those schools, which one would you say, if any of them, that you have the best relationship and which coaches?
Um, mm, I don't know. I probably right now I would say Clemson, but like I said, I haven't been on any visits or anything like that yet.
Okay.
So
Are there any schools that you're looking to visit or any schools you're excited to visit?
I'm definitely excited to visit Clemson and the Florida schools too, like Miami, um, the University of Florida, all of them. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
All right. Um, so you haven't visited anywhere today.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Um, so let's talk about your goals for this season, like how you'd like to end the season and things like that.
My goals for this season would be to definitely go farther than we did last year. Like make it to stay and be a higher seed, um, like the number one seed for our region, and just to do better than we did last season, like as a team, I would say.
All right, and what are some things that Jada Bates is working on to better her game as a player?
I'm working on perfecting like my shot, mid range, on my post game, like just post moves and being able to extend that and play the 4-5.
All right, we're going to give you a little bit of time here to take like 30 seconds or so and just tell prospective coaches and prospective teammates what they would be getting in Jada Bates.
Um, okay. I would say that like as a player, I can play the 1 through 4. Um, I can play guard if needed. Can pass, dribble, um, defense, definitely like shot blocking, rebounding, definitely all of that.
There you go. She's kind of a positionless player, playing the 1 through 4, um, just like KD plays all those positions. So there you go, the female KD. All right, we like ending with a little fun. We've done that here recently with some of our other interviews. We've had Janiyah Williams on and a couple of others with us. So we like asking a little fun question with you guys. So you can go anywhere in the world. Where does Jada Bates choose to go?
Um, I would say like Hawaii or something like that. Something like that I can like take a vacation on, something like that.
All right, guys. Jada Bates says if she could go anywhere in the world, she would go to Hawaii. You heard it here. Thank you, Jada, for coming on with us tonight. We'll keep in touch with you, and we look forward to following your career over the next couple seasons. And we'll keep in track with McEachern High School and see how you guys finish out your season. And we're sure you'll accomplish all your goals in your career and in life because you're a very bright young lady. But thank you for coming on and joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Tonight, we want to welcome in Alyssa Murphy out of Murphy High School, Murphy Academy here in Louisville, where she, alongside Leah Macy, has led the Jaguars to a number 4 ranking in the state. Very few across the state have seen their stock rise throughout this season like Alyssa has. So, Alyssa, against the 25th ranked Bullitt East girls, you poured in 35 points. Talk about how big that basket had to look that night and how it felt.
It felt pretty good. I just went out with a more aggressive mindset against them and just tried scoring the basketball, trying to help the team win. But that also came from like the defensive side of the ball. I just tried to, focus on my defense, get out and run in transition, see the ball go in a few times, like with some easy layup stuff, and then, your tougher shots come after that. So yeah.
It's always the way to go. Let the game come to you. So you've played alongside, as we spoke about earlier, their nationally ranked Leah Macy. Take a minute to talk about her impact on your team and your game and how you two feed off of one another.
She's a great player to play with. She is very easy to play with. She has a ton of rebounds, ton of offensive rebounds. So it's like if you miss a shot, it doesn't have as much of an impact on you because she gets a lot of those and puts them back in, so you still score. But she's very she's a good running mate. She get out in transition and she can take the ball or she can just run and I'll take the ball and make passes to her and stuff.
So you guys have played a pretty tough schedule so far. I look at
Yeah.
it and I'm just like, wow. Every time I
Yeah.
look up and I see, okay, who are they playing? Who are they? And I'm like, wow, man, did they ever get a break? It seems like. So you've played nationally ranked, but yet they're still a crosstown foe in Sacred Heart. You've played DuPont Manual. You played Westview and Bartlett out of Tennessee. You played Florida State University out of Florida, Winter Haven, Dr. Phillips. They're all state powers down there in Florida. You guys played Pickerington Central out of Ohio, which is a pretty good little squad there. And then you just got done playing nationally ranked Incarnate Word, who beat both you guys and Missouri. Who would you say has been the toughest team and toughest competitor you guys have faced this season?
Either Pickerington or Incarnate Word. Pickerington because of their defense. They did not let us get set up in one thing. Like they put a double on me and the full court, like pressed us the whole game full court, which made it difficult because it made it difficult to get the ball to the court and then difficult for us to get like set up and yeah, and they were also pretty good offensively. And then Incarnate Word just I don't know. I feel like we had a very good chance to beat them. We just had a few things not go our way, but they killed us on the offensive boards. So
Um, With the city of Louisville owning 3 of the top 5 spots in the state and a plethora of other teams vying for spots inside the top 25, what do you think separates the city of Louisville when it comes to girls basketball and girls athletics, period?
Speed and physicality for sure. I'm actually from Indiana, so I played basketball in Indiana. I never had to play high school because the rules are different here, but going to Louisville and playing, it was a shock to me like my freshman year because of like the speed and physicality of the game. So it just took some getting used to.
All right. Yeah, there's always some top talent there in the city of Louisville. Sacred Heart is always one of those schools. Mercy has put their fair share of products out, and DuPont Manual. Iroquois had some girls come out of there, and some other schools up there. Christian Academy of Louisville is right there. I think they're number 12 in our newest poll we put out today. So with your game elevating to the next level, many people are wondering about your future. What schools have reached out today?
Buffalo, Miami of Ohio, Murray State. I've had some calls with North Carolina, Florida, Michigan, schools like that. But I have offers from Buffalo, Miami of Ohio, and Murray State.
Right now, have you got a chance to visit any of those schools?
Yeah, I visited all 3 schools that I've been offered by, and then I visited Michigan.
Okay. Do you have any visits lined up that you plan on going to, maybe after the season or?
I don't have any as of right now.
All right. Okay. Well, as your stock rises, I'm sure those will fall into place and everything because your stock is definitely soaring. So, have you built any relationships with any of those coaching staff that stand out to you early on?
Yeah. I've the Wyatt Fast, he's at Buffalo right now. He was at Murray State whenever they offered me. So he was like the person that recruited me. So I've built a relationship with him over the years because, he's recruited to different schools. And then coaching staff at Miami of Ohio is also great. I have a pretty good relationship with them too.
Okay. All right. One thing we like to do as we wrap up with each player is we like to ask a kind of a fun question with them. So as we wrap up, tell us one interesting fact about Alyssa Murphy that the world just needs to know.
Whenever I was younger, I actually played like 7 sports at one time.
Wow.
I was a cheerleader. I played tennis. I played softball. I did karate. A bunch of different stuff, just to see which one I liked. Yeah.
There you go. Don't mess with Alyssa Murphy. She will kick your butt. So, all right, Alyssa, thank you for joining us here on the Nation's Elite podcast. We look forward to seeing how you guys wrap up your season there in Louisville and things. Good luck to you guys. And once again, thanks for coming on, and we'll be keeping an eye on you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Guys, tonight in the Coach's Corner, we welcome in Scott County, Kentucky head football coach Jim McKee. McKee and the Cardinals had played in Class 6A since the state expanded from 4 classes. With a new high school in Georgetown, Coach McKee and the Cardinals had moved to 5A the last few years. What do you think of your newly proposed district?
Well, it's really tough to get non-district games if you've had a pretty good program over the years. So selfishly, when I saw we were in a 5-team district, the first thing I thought was, well, that's one less team that I'm going to have to get the schedule. But we think it's a great district. Woodford County's 12, 15 miles from Scott County. They've been really good recently. Collins won a state championship in 2013. It's about 40 miles to Collins. And Anderson County's been a state runner-up, and South Oldham's been traditionally very competitive in 5A. So, we think it's going to be a great district. Should be a lot of fun. Games should be well attended. Travel's close. And, we're ready to get back in the weight room in the morning, so we're ready for it when it gets here.
There you go. Scott County's ready to hit the weight room and ready to start preparing, as always. In 5A, you guys should be one of the top dogs, just taking a quick glance over what I've saw so far with Bowling Green, Highlands, Pulaski County, and if South Warren and Woodford County can sustain their success they've had here recently. in recent years. What are you most excited about with all the new opportunities? You kind of already touched on that.
Well, I think the most important thing from my standpoint, just individually as a coach is, you just have to try to reinvent yourself every day. And you got to be really careful not to put the cart in front of the horse, so to speak, and look on down the road and say, I used to spend a lot of time in January, for example, positioning players. I'd put you here and me here, and this guy's going to play tight end, and this guy's going to play linebacker. And we're really now our focus is we need to have a great workout tomorrow. We'll put them in positions as we move forward and do our spring workouts and go through our fall camp. But I think the thing that I'm the most excited about is really just getting to work with the quality of the young people that we get to work with on a daily basis. We have a lot of tradition. I'm coaching several kids whose dads played for us, several kids whose brothers played or have a younger brother in the program. And so, it's kind of an old cliche, but I'm really excited about just, we're fortunate at our school to have a great administration. So we lift during first hour. I have a couple of our coaches in there with us. I'm excited to get up in the morning and go in and work with those guys. Is every day perfect? No, I'm sure every day for your podcast isn't perfect, but it's not work. I can tell you that. I grew up on a farm, and I still spend some time with my family on that farm. And loading hay or hanging the back is a whole lot harder than running that weight room.
Amen. You got to love what you do. So it seems like that's what you love doing, what you do over there in Scott County. One thing Scott County is known for is that power running game you guys have, or you guys have had some pretty good running backs in your time there. And next season, you return over 2,400 yards between Jacob Fryman, Ellis Hughley, and Thomas Fikert. What can this trio do to build on their already impressive numbers from last season?
Well, I think the most important thing, as you stated just a second ago when you mentioned those guys' names, coaching is important, but I don't want to oversell my value as a coach or even our staff's value. And we've got some great assistant coaches. Our defense coordinator, Monty McIntyre, he's just chosen not to be a head coach. He should be a head coach somewhere right now. He's been with us. The next year will be my 27th year and be his 26th. And we've got, but players win games. And, those guys, what I like to selfishly say that, we're putting them in a good position and we got them in a good scheme. Well, sure, we're working hard on that, but they make plays and, they make people miss and the line blocks for them. And, so it is a unique situation. We've got another really good, young running back kid named Ali Hamdia who broke his collarbone last year, early in the year, who's outstanding. Kane Garrett gained some good yards for us as a fullback, so Buddy can put the ball in his hand. So we've got 5 or 6 guys that can do some stuff with the ball in their hands. So, we're looking forward to that. But I think that football is so different. I played baseball. My youngest son's a college baseball player. And, one guy can go up there on the hill, and he can kind of control that game for you. He in football, it's such a team game that as much as I love Ellis and Thomas and Jacob, it's going to take all 11 guys on offense, all 11 guys on defense, and then a bunch of people in the kicking game.
Yeah. All right. You brought up a young man there as you was talking there, and a lot of people want to focus on him because he's getting a lot of attention there in Buddy Collins. In the defensive backfield, everyone wants to talk about Buddy, and we will here in a minute. But another young man that maybe don't get as much attention is Paul Garner. He had 8 takeaways last year, 1 forced fumble, 2 recoveries, and 5 interceptions. With Garner and Collins in your secondary, that means a lot of good nights in you guys' future. Just talk about those 2 for a minute.
Well, first, just talk about Paul for just a second. Paul's older brother, Philip, played for us. Philip was a really good player, went on, played at the University of the Cumberlands. And, I love to talk about my guys anytime I get a chance, and I appreciate being on here. And I don't want to stray off the topic because I promise I'm going to come back to Paul and Buddy. But, we had Cam Keller committed to Georgetown last night. Nate Hall's going to Center College. Elijah Adams is committed to the University of the Cumberlands. And Daniel Daff was actually an early graduate and an early enrollee and had his first workout today at Georgetown College. I haven't talked to him since the workout, but I FaceTimed him this morning before the workout and just said, man, because I don't care what you've done in high school, you're starting over and you're going to be that freshman again, to encourage him. So proud of all those guys. But the biggest thing about the Garner kids is, they're just such good, hard-working kids. Paul's never made a B in high school. And I made a lot of B's. And you probably did too. But, Paul's never made a B. And he plays center field on our baseball team. He's athletic. He's fast. He's extremely coachable. He was greatly improved from last year to this fall. So, we're lucky enough to get to coach Paul again. More specifically talking about Buddy, Buddy deserves the attention that he gets. He's very talented. We do have a large program. We have been relatively successful over time, and we really don't play a ton of sophomores typically. A lot of times parents maybe aren't ready for this little patient speech and players, but really a lot of times for us, your sophomore year, you play on a JV team. You have a really good JV year, and then you're setting yourself up to play on the varsity as a junior and senior. But Buddy played just a little bit for us as a freshman, and then he stepped in this year. And, he's really a true definition of a cover corner. Now, he is physically strong and can come up and tackle. But the thing he does the best, and I would say in all the sports I've played, all the things I've done, I don't know what you think, but I think about the two hardest things there are to do is, one, hit a baseball. I think it's really hard to hit a baseball against a good pitcher. And, man, I think it's hard to cover in the secondary. The offense knows where they're going. And the quarterbacks, especially in today's day and age, the quarterbacks and receivers work so much together. There's so much off-season 7-on-7. There's so much summer work. And you got to guard that guy where you don't know where he's going. And, I think Buddy's catch-up speed or make-up speed, if he makes a mistake, is really good. His eye-hand coordination is really good. And I told Buddy this year, I said, hey, man, you're going to get out there and really make your way in the secondary. But at some point in time, I got to put the ball in your hands some. You're going to have to flip on over here and return some kicks and catch some passes and run the ball some for us. But really proud of Buddy. He's gotten some early offers. And you just never know with recruiting. But I would be surprised if he doesn't, start to garner even more attention this spring as everybody comes through. And then if he has a really good year in track and, guys, you know it. Those college coaches, they look at those times and they don't look at those hand times. They look at those electronic times in that 100 and that 200. So, Buddy's going to keep on working, hopefully have a great spring. And, gosh, I'd love for him to be a national recruit, because the great part of that is, the more recruiting, the more his recruiting heats up, the more it helps our other guys. Christian Rodriguez, big, strong lineman for us. It's a sophomore. Jackson Dameron's hard-nosed, tough kid. Has played some outside linebacker and safety for us this past year. So I've always done that, and I'll always continue to do that. When that college coach sits down next to me and he wants to look at Buddy's film, and I show him Buddy's film, but I always say before he gets up, hey, want to take a look at this guy too? The more success for Buddy, number one, credit to him, credit to his parents for raising a good kid, but the more success for our program.
Man, I love your enthusiasm for your guys over there. One of my next few questions was, who are some other young men that may be flying under the radar, some linemen that always seem to get lost in the shuffle, or some up-and-coming kids? And you already hit that nail on the head. So, but you return a quarterback who did some good things for you as well. He's coming into his junior year, and you'll even have him around for a couple more seasons, and Andrew Hickey. What more are you expecting out of him coming into this spring and summer?
Well, I've coached for a long time. Next year will be my 32nd year and be my 27th year at Scott County. And we've had some good quarterbacks. A couple of my sons were our quarterbacks. Probably our best quarterback ever was one of our assistant coach's sons, a kid named Josh Davis. But, what we've never done is start a freshman quarterback. And, we started Andrew last year. And we were – you gotta let the dog out here. Sorry. We were 6-6 last year in 21. And I thought we might have a little bit of a tough schedule, a little bit of some growing pains. And man, I kept evaluating Andrew in the summer, and I talked to a couple coaching buddies, and they said, Coach, if he's close, man, I believe I'd go with him because of how much he's going to continue to grow. So we did, and he took a really important step between his freshman and sophomore year. He was much better as a sophomore. But, just like your podcast, you're going to evaluate this, I'm sure, and you're going to say, how can I make it better? I had X number of listeners. I want Y number of listeners. And so, what can Andrew do to take that next step? Physically, he's about 6'1", 175. He's a nice-looking kid. But I think that next step is really more mental than anything. The weight room is really not optional for us, so he's going to be in there. He's going to get bigger and stronger, but he's got to take that mental step forward where I make him come early and stand at the door. He has to be there in assigned time and greet the guys when they come in. And if he doesn't, I get after him and punish him and make him do some push-ups. But I'm just, making sure he knows everybody's name. Just step forward from a leadership standpoint. I think if he can do that, then that elevates his teammates, which in turn elevates everybody's play, which in turn elevates our team. So my biggest challenge for Andrew is just, taking that next step from a mental standpoint, more so than physical. He throws a nice ball, does a good job for us, and really is a ball handler in our offense, a good faker, and then delivers the ball where it needs to go. People see us play or see our stats, you might run. Man, we hit people with a lot of big passes. And, our play action game is good, and a lot of that is dependent upon A, the success of our run game, B, the protection of our line, and C, Andrew's ball handling. If you're watching this, I don't want you to know where the ball is. And, I want that split second that he can give us by increased ball handling and mental maturation will make him even better.
All right. We'll end with this, and it's what would you say is one thing your Cardinal squad needs to shore up to get back to Lexington and compete for a state championship at Kroger Field, as that's everyone's goal here in the state of Kentucky?
Oh, absolutely, and that's our goal. We've been fortunate enough to play for 4 state championships in my time here, but we want to play for 5. And I'll guarantee you when we walk off the field after we play for 5, we're going to want to play for 6. I would just say probably, first off, you're going to lose people. Somebody says, well, so-and-so's got everybody back. Nobody's got everybody back. You're always going to lose some seniors. We lost some good seniors off our offensive line. And, they did a good job for us. And so, we're going to have to break some guys in on the offensive line. I would say if there was one thing that will be a real point of emphasis would just be getting our offensive linemen up to speed. And we play a tough schedule. We don't quite have it finalized yet, but we're close. We're home and home with Boyle week 4. We kept Lexington Catholic on the schedule. Our district obviously is tough. We got a crosstown rival in Great Crossing. It's early in the year. So our schedule's tough. So we got to get our O-line up to speed, I would say, to answer your question.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach McKee, for joining us here tonight on the Nation's Elite podcast. We're going to surely try to get over there to Scott County this upcoming season. That Bull County game sure does seem really nice. So we might even try to put that on the calendar when it comes out and try to get over for that one. We look forward to seeing Buddy Collins and Hickey and the rest of those 3-headed monster at running back you got over there, and catching up with you again soon. So thank you for coming on tonight, Coach McKee.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Anytime I get a chance to represent our program, it's an honor. Go Cards.
Yeah, go Cards. All right. Thank you, sir.